So the next one we got here is going to be the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and this is kind of an action thriller. In this film, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and a group of military officials hatch a daring plan to neutralize Hitler's fleet of German U-boats during World War II, made up of a motley crew of rogues and mavericks. The top secret combat unit uses unconventional techniques to battle the Nazis and change the course of the war. And this is directed by Guy Ritchie. Main stars here are going to be Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson, Lisa Gonzalez. Hero finds Tiffin, Carrie Ewes, Henry Golding, Alex Pettyfer, Till Schweiger, Babs Olison Mokum, Freddie Fox, not the rapper, and Henry Zaga in this film, man. What'd you think of this?
I really enjoyed it. This is the film that I kind of wish Inglourious Basterds was. You know, a whole lot of action. It is a man on a mission type film, which I love. Henry Cavill, I hate that doesn't work for him with Superman, but I'm glad that he just isn't limited to Superman, because that's one of the things that he has on Brandon Routh from back in the day. Whenever he was, chosen Superman, Brandon Routh has only been in a couple smaller films and then TV, but Henry Cavill is, I consider him being an actual, movie star. The character he plays, Gus March Phillips, is who Ian Fleming reference when he was coming with James Bond. Ian Fleming does play, he does play a part in this because he was in British intelligence and everything. He's kind of like a side character. But I really thought this film was good. I want to see some more stuff. People have been telling me about the Reacher film, and Alan Richardson, other than Fast X. Mm-hmm. I don't know him from too many other films, but he was a total badass in this film. Mm-hmm. He's playing Anders Layson in this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm telling you, like I said, this is the film that Inglourious Basterds should have been, because they were actually killing Nazis. They were killing all kind of Nazis.
It's funny because
there's not too many Nazis that survived in this film.
I feel like Eli Roth was playing his character in Inglourious Basterds, the bat and all that. But in this film, you actually got a really badass dude that's playing this role, and it's crazy because Reacher, I know he's in that, and that's pretty popular right now. I think they're on their second season, maybe third. But he also was in that film. I told you about The Ordinary Angels, and I'm sitting here wondering, it's like, yo, why is this roofer, who's an ordinary guy in that film, so jacked up? And I was like, oh, because he plays Reacher and he probably had a break, so he goes to shoot this family film, but he still has the same physique, and it's crazy, man, because he also has the is he Swedish in this movie, I think, or
he's Dutch. Norway?
Yeah, okay, Dutch. But he has that accent, and it's funny because he's speaking in this high pitched tone, but he's this big, mean burly guy. He seems like a nice guy when they're having that opening scene and they're just talking on the boat, and I'm just cracking up because he does not look like he sounds, man. And it's funny, man. But you're right. I love this team dynamic, the crew that they assembled, and the fact, too, that you find out at the end of this based on a true story. Yeah. Of course, Ritchie took some liberties, but it made me want to look into that story again. And you also find out that this crew actually did more missions, Cavill's character. So maybe there is potential if they could double dip going back into this. That could be really fun.
A different story with it. Yeah, that's... Cavill... But this is one of those action movies, too, to where you could just tell everybody's having fun. Mm-hmm. I've seen movies before where it was, I don't know, people being forced to work with each other, but everything about this was just overall a fun film, and
it's really good. And then when you get away from the the rough and tumble shoot 'em up stuff, then I thought it was cool to have Isa Gonzalez is Marjorie Stewart, her and Heron, and they're doing another mission. It's a support mission to what these guys are doing, but they're doing it more of in a finesse way with espionage and using their wits. and secrecy and spy tactics, to help these guys.
Yeah, they were in the midst of the Nazis the whole time. And that was the only other thing I think I've seen her in. She was John Hamm's girlfriend in Baby Driver. That's the only other thing I think I've ever seen her in.
Also, I think she was in Ambulance, if I'm correct.
I hadn't seen that yet.
She does have a Godzilla versus King Kong credit as well, and the film I Care a Lot. That was a wild movie. And I think Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. She was also in that.
Okay,
but they weren't really.
She played a small part in that because I don't really remember her being in that.
Yeah, the only other ones where I think she had a really long, like she's in the movie a whole lot is the Ambulance one, So she's in there the whole movie. That's a fun movie, man.
and the character of Babs that plays the guy that plays Heron, Babs. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's on Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and he's he plays Dr. Mbenga on there. So I think he's a cool character, and this is like I've seen him in a series called Too Old to Die Young or whatever on Amazon. It's the film director that did Drive actually did this series, and it's not a very easy watch because it's a lot of static shock. I really just don't think that it has a good enough story to be a series. It should have been a movie, but he does play a part in that show too. And
he's also got Dune Part 1 and 2 credits.
He is in Dune,
Book of Clarence, and he's also in Guy Ritchie's Wrath of Man as well. So
I have yet to see Wrath of Man, and that's on Amazon and everything right now. Yeah, and also too, man, just setting too, man. I love that this thing took place in Africa. Like it wasn't called World War for no reason. They had stuff going on all over the world, and I like how their mission is based off Africa. The Nazis are using the Ivory Coast as a refueling post for their U-boats. So essentially, this mission is to take out the U-boat supply chains. So this would allow the Americans to sail from the states to actually get involved in the war. Because right now the U-boats are blocking them. So it's cool, man. It makes me want to, like I said, look into this. I love also who was playing Churchill, man. He was cracking me up, man. Let me look that up.
Roy Kinnear.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because Churchill is kind of going above his military guys. He's almost got his own military unit inside the military, and he's telling these dudes to do what? He's like, I don't care. Court-martial me. Fuck you. And I'm just like, this is so crazy. It's because you read about how gruff Churchill was at times, and to see him portraying it was cool, man. I love the aspect of it, man. This movie's really fun, man. Like I had a double feature with this. I think I watched. Go ahead.
But just seeing this and knowing that Ian Fleming, based this character, Bond off this guy, and how some of the inner workings were. It is a man on a mission type deal. Even though Bond's a sequel guy, when he's out doing missions, he always has like contacts on the inside and everything. It was really a nice setup. At some point, I wouldn't mind Guy Ritchie making a Bond film because
that would be cool, man.
He kind of does real well, even though this film hasn't made any money. I was the only person in the theater watching this Monday afternoon, and I was just having so much fun watching this. I kind of wish I was in watching this with a crowd or whatever.
Yeah, I had a few people in there because I saw it. I'm trying to think of what I did, man. Maybe I know I had a double feature that day, and this was the end part of that. So I think it was a Wednesday when 2 films came out. So yeah, it was Abigail. So Abigail first, and then I caught this at the 7:00, and there was a few people in there. We were having a good time, man. Like I was cracking up, bro. Because it's fun, man. It's not this total serious tone. I'm glad he went that route with it instead of making this like something, like Spy Game or something that's really serious.
And almost, I put it like this: it was dealt with enough comedy. I really just think it was a good mix of everything. You know, you always have that with Guy Ritchie films. You know, he can tell a serious story without it, you know, getting bogged down in you know, dryness or whatever, or taking himself too serious.
Yeah, so as of right now, it's at 16 million worldwide, $60 million budget. It's not the best, but who knows, man? Things might, you know, even out for it eventually. But
one of the things I did hear is America is like one of the few places this is actually, you know, showing in theaters.
Okay. So it might get the foreign market boost. Yeah. So yeah. I think it'll probably do really good in England, in its homeland, and places like Australia, you know, Ireland, things like that. So let's see what we got next. Yeah, definitely, highly recommend this one.